Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this oil pickup tube here. There's a major problem or flaw with this tube that I just discovered, and I think I fixed it, but I want to show you something. So all of this debris you see right here, this is all rusty metal chunks. This is not from the actual engine itself. There were more than that. There was like 2 or 3 times that amount in that pickup tube. This is actually from the oil fill tube right here. This oil filler tube is like halfway rusted out on the bottom and the middle. And what it did was it clogged that little half moon or crescent moon on the very bottom you see down there. And so when you fill it up with oil, this tube would just fill up with oil and it would take forever to drain down. I pulled this thing out, this tube out, and there was a ton of debris inside of there blocking it. And that rust got inside of the oil pan, blocked the pickup tube, or at least covered the pickup tube. And you saw that the oil pan had a ton of that crap inside of it. It wasn't just bearing material. It was a ton of this rusted stuff from the pickup or the oil fill tube. Now, the main problem I'm noticing with this thing is, if you notice, it's pried right here and bent. And the reason why is because this tube, I did this. So this tube right here, this thing is pressed onto the tube, right? Now, the tube itself, my flash turned off, so I don't know if you can see this, but the tube itself, do you see how the netting right here is pushed up? Let's see if I can get my light in there. Do you see how the netting is pushed down, I should say? The filler or the pickup tube is right there. It's pushing right on the net, and it pushed the net down. There's a huge dent in the net right now, and it was actually sitting right up against this plate. I shit you not. So there was maybe like a millimeter gap between this plate and this tube with the net pushed up right against it. So that small little gap, what happens is this debris will get sucked up right in the net right here, right in this spot on the plate, and it'll block this spot up, and there's no way for any oil in this whole spot right here to be sucked up because the tube is pushed right up against the plate and it's blocked right here. It's silly. So this piece from AMC should not have passed quality control, if they even had quality control back then. This should not have been put on the engine. So I can guarantee you that the engine was starved for a long time, or at least the time that that debris was inside the engine. So I could not even get this pick. I could not get this pick inside of here. Let me clean this up a little bit. I could not get this pick on the inside like you're seeing right here. You see it's still kind of pushing up against the net. I could not do that. Now, I specifically remember this pickup tube on my Grand Wagoneer. There was a large gap, like you're seeing right here. Large gap, like I could stick this thing all the way inside of here. But with this one, I could not even get it maybe that far, and it would stop because the tube, again, is pushing right up against that metal plate. So I had to take a pair of needle nose pliers, and I had to pry up on this plate. That's the reason why the plate is dented now, just to try to get all the debris out of there. But then I realized even if the debris is gone, it's still going to happen again if debris or whatever gets inside the engine again somehow. Plus a millimeter gap between this and that tube, that's just not enough to pick up oil, even when it's not plugged up. So I had to put this thing in a vise right here. I could not pry on these edges because I wanted to take off this plate altogether. I wanted to take the net out and maybe grind the tube down just a hair so it's below the netting right here. I couldn't do that. I can't get anything in here no matter what I try. So I had to put it in the vise, and inside the vise, when it was inside the vise, I grabbed this thing and I pulled and wiggled and pulled as hard as I could, pulling outward. And what that did was it actually pulled this plate or this piece right here out. So now there's a little bow right there. And what that did was it pulled this tube away from the net and away from that bottom plate. So now if you look, do you see how it bounces on top of the fill tube or the pickup tube? That's the way it should be. So now it will not get clogged just right here. And if it does, it still has all of this to still pick up oil. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope so. Sorry for the wiggly camera. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed. But that, to me, is a really, really crappy thing. So now all I need to do is pry that metal plate down just a little bit. I'm probably not going to pry it down all the way because I still want to have a little bit of a gap in there. And that's fine because there is a rubber plunger right here with like maybe, it's like the size of a pencil eraser. I guess that's the gap that needs to be between this and the oil pan. This shouldn't be touching the oil pan anyway. I think it'll be fine. And hopefully when I put this thing back on, it goes back on right, because for some reason it was loose when I started to loosen it and then try to tighten it back up. It was loose, so that's, again, the reason why I had to take it off. I don't know if I need to put like some Teflon tape on here to make sure it's, you know, not going to suck up air inside of here and make sure it's nice and tight. I'm not sure yet, so. But anyway, I think I fixed this problem with this pickup tube. I wonder how common this issue actually is with these engines. I wonder if that's like a major flaw, a major problem. But to me, this should not have passed any kind of inspection, if they even do inspect these things. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.